Good morning, Year 3. Mrs. Doran here. It's time to do some maths now. So we've been looking at time for the last few weeks and we're going to be looking at time again. So let's look at our learning intention first. It says here, I know how to measure time in hours. So that's what we're going to be learning about. So I've underlined that and I've also put the date up here and underlined that too. Now let's have a look at the problem. So there's a picture there, Emma. She says she's been here for 5 hours, and here, in this big picture, you can see she's at a fun fair, and over here in the corner is a clock which tells you what the time is now. You might notice something slightly different about that clock, but we did learn about it last week, so fingers crossed you can remember how to work out what that time says. So Emma's been at the fun fair for 5 hours. What time did Emma arrive at? So that's your challenge. Can you work out what time Emma arrived at? You can do it any way you like, it's up to you entirely. Now, if you do think you worked that out, then there is an extra challenge down here. So what if Emma had only been at the fun fair for 4.5 hours? What time would she arrive at? Interesting. So you're going to go off now. Any way you want to, you can solve this problem. You're going to have about 10 minutes. Pause me until you're ready and come back when you're ready. Okay, you ready? Off you go. See you in 10 minutes. Hi there, Year 3. How'd you get on? Did you work it out? Yeah, well done if you did. Well done for giving it a try. Don't worry if you didn't, so we're going to go through the answer in a minute. So, Emma got to the fun fair 5 hours before that time on the clock. Okay, so to work out that time, it's got Roman numerals. Remember, we learned about Roman numerals last week. So I am looking here, and I remember the shorthand is the hour. And this number here, IV, means 1 before 5. So this is obviously the 4. And if you're not sure, you can always count round. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. So it's just past 4 o'clock. And then stay for minutes, but I'm going to count round in 5s this time, because don't forget, these are in 5-minute intervals. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. So the time here is 20 past 4. Now, we're going to have to go backwards, aren't we? Because we need to find the time which she arrived at. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You might have one of these handy little things at home. This is a little teaching clock that I borrowed from school. So the first thing I'm going to do is use this. So I need to work out the time. So at the moment it's saying 4 o'clock, so I need to make sure it's 20 past. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20. So now it matches the time on the clock over here. Can you see? Although obviously mine's not got Roman numerals. So to work out the time, I need to subtract 5 hours. So to do that, I'm going to have to go backwards. So when I'm subtracting, I need to make sure I'm going to move the minute hand, because the hour hand won't work. If I do that, I'll break the clock. And I'm going to go one complete revolution, or one complete circle. So watch. So I'm going to go backwards all the way around until I get that. So now it says, oops, gone a bit far, 20 past 3. So I've got to do that again because it's only 1 hour. I've got to subtract 5. So that was 1 hour. So all the way around until I get to the 4. Now it says 20 past 2. Okay, that's 2 hours. So all the way back again until I get to the 4 again. So now it says 20 past 1. That's 3 hours, isn't it? And then all the way around again. So now it says 20 past 12. Okay, so that's 4 hours. I've got 1 more hour to subtract. So go round again until I get back to that 4. So now it says 20 past 11. So therefore, Emma must have arrived at the fun fair at 20 past 11. So I used a clock, which you might have hanging around at home. So you can see on this slide here, that's exactly what they've done. So they've done like we have, they've just subtracted an hour. So here it says 20 past 4, 20 past 3, 20 past 2, it goes all the way around here, 20 past 1, 20 past 12, until they get to 20 past 11. And down here, I've written the answer, so I don't forget. Also, it's really tricky to try and draw anything using a mouse on this. So you could have used your clock if you have one handy. However, some of you might not have one handy. In that case, the best thing we can use is a number line. You know how much teachers love number lines. So look, I've already written the start time down here for myself. So I know it's 4:20. So now I need to subtract my hours. Now, these are quite easy to do. I'm going to write in here 1 hour. You have to excuse my writing, as I say, it's really hard. And then underneath, so 4:20 subtract 1 hour would be 3:20. Very, very carefully. Right, 3:20. Can you see? That's okay, isn't it? Just about. So that's 1 hour subtracted. Let's do another jump. And that's going to be, oh, not very good, is it? 2:20. I'm having problems writing my 2's. Oh, that's okay. It's much easier when you're at school with a pen. So I've subtracted 2 hours. That's going to do it again. This is another hour. And that's going to be 1:20. Is that right? Yeah. Because my minutes don't change because I'm subtracting an hour. That is supposed to be a 2. You can just about read it. Okay. So I've subtracted 3 hours. I'm going to subtract another one. Do my minutes change? No, of course they don't, Mrs. Doran. So now I have to be a bit careful because I seem to remember that when I subtract an hour from 1, that's right, it doesn't go to 0, does it? It goes to 12. So here, I need to write 12. I think that's probably midday, don't you? Probably lunchtime. 20. Because I'm subtracting hours, my minutes do not change. All right, 1 hour in here. So how many hours have I subtracted? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more to go. Ready? 1 more. Oh, don't happen to that jump. 1 hour. So my minutes stay the same because I'm not changing those. And 1 less than 12 is 11. So there we go. That's the same as it here. So the answer is 11:20. And we've tried 2 ways. There are other ways that you can do it. You could do it finding a difference, but I'm not going to go into that today because otherwise this is going to go for ages. So there are 2 ways there. You could use a clock. Don't forget there is a link to an interactive clock as well on the maths resources, or you could use a number line. Okay, so let's go on and see what we've got to next. Oh, just thinking about it. Oh, challenge. Of course, we've got to remember the challenge. Now the challenge is a bit different because you do need to use minutes. So you are subtracting minutes. So let's do it like that. That's my number line. I'm actually not going to do it, I don't think, because I seem to remember that underneath it shows you what to do. So look, they've done it underneath. They started off at 4:20. I'd write my time, 4:20 there. And then, because you're subtracting 4 hours and 30 minutes, you subtract the hours first, just like we did before. So there's a jump there, 1 hour, 3:20. 2 jumps, 2:20. Notice the minutes aren't changing yet. Another hour, 1:20, and another hour, 12:20. Now this is where things change a little bit, because this is when you have to be a bit careful, okay? Because now you're going to subtract the minutes. We've done the hours, tick, and now we're going to do the minutes. Now here, some use their number bonds, or they use a place value, because they know that 30 minutes is the same as 20 minutes and 10 minutes. So because I've got 12:20 here, I'm going to subtract 20 minutes. I'm not going to do half an hour, though you could do if you wanted to, but I'm going to jump back to the nearest hour. To the nearest hour, if I subtracted 20 would be 12, okay? Then you've got your little jump here of 10. So 12, don't forget that's on the clock, subtract 10 minutes would be 11:50. Okay, so Emma would have arrived at the fun fair at 11:50. Now, if I wanted to check that, I could go back here and look at the time she arrived at. If it was 5 hours ago, I could do this slightly different. So she arrived at 11:20. Because it's half an hour less, I could just add half an hour, which is a good way of checking. It's kind of like using the inverse. So 11:20, 20 out of 30 would be 11:50. So therefore, I know that Emma arrived at 11:50 in the morning. Did you get that challenge right? Well done if you did. If you didn't, don't worry, just keep trying. Okay, so let's go on. So here we go. Got some people at the beach having a very nice time. The first thing we've got to do is work out the time. So there we go. So if I'm looking here, the hand's not quite on the 4 yet, is it? And then they've got the minute hand. Sorry, that was the hour hand, as I'm sure you know. And the minute hand is on the 9. So the time here is not quite 4, so that means it's still 3. So we could say it's 3:45, or sometimes you say 4:45. So 3:45, go around that way, or you could say 4:45. So I'm going to get my clock out and do it this way first. First thing I need to do on my clock is make the time, which I do believe is 4:45. Gone a bit too far then. Okay, so on my clock, I've made 4:45. So my hour hand is nearly on the 4, but not quite, and my minute hand is on my 9. So the first person has been there an hour. So what I need to do here is I need to go backwards all the way around till I get back to the 9 again to see what time that person's came at. So the time that person came at is 2:45, or you could say 2:45. I'm going to write here 2:45. Okay, so it's 2:45. Now, if I was going to do that on my number line, the first thing I would have to do is write the time. I'm going to write 3:45. I'm not going to write 3:45. That is going to confuse me totally. And then I'm going to jump back an hour, 1 hour, like that. So my minutes don't change because I've only got hours. So they're 45, and 1 hour less than 3 would be 2. So this person here arrived at 2:45. Okay. Next one, I'll give you a few minutes to work it out by yourself and the person underneath. So this girl here, can you work out what time she arrived at? And then this chap here, can you work out what time he arrived at? Okay, you can use one of those methods or a different one if you know one. All right, come back in a couple of minutes. Okay, did you do that? Did you use a number line or did you use a clock? Well done if you use either method. So this person here has been there 3 hours. I could be quite clever if I'd done a bigger number line because I could just extend that one, but I'm going to have to start again. Oh, going to build problems doing this. So that should say 3:45. Obviously, when you write your numbers, they can be much less than mine. So my first jump's 1 hour, 1 HR. So that's going to be 2:45, and I know that because I've already done it up here. Can you see? So we already know that's 1 hour. And as I say, you could just use one number line if you're clever. And then another one, 1 hour. But it's fine to use 3 separate ones like I'm doing. So my minutes stay the same, which is my 45. Okay, so my dot there. And my hours 1 less. So 2 hours subtract 1 hour, 1:45. So then I've got to do one more because she's been there for 3 hours, as we can see. That's another hour in there, 1 HR. So my minutes stay the same, so they're going to be 45. And I know when I go back from 1, it doesn't go to 0, it goes to 12. I can check that using my clock if I want to. So this lady or girl would have arrived at the beach at 12:45. In fact, I know that this is going to be 45 minutes too, because it's going to be the same, isn't it? And we're only subtracting hours, not minutes. So this has got to be 45 minutes. So again, if I was clever, I could just use that number line to go backwards, keep going, but I haven't. So I'm going to have to start again. So this time, I'm going to start with the time again, 3:45. And I'm going to, oh, my writing. Right, that's an hour, 1 HR. So then it'd be 2:45. Just really copying that up there. I'm rushing, so it's getting even messier. Okay, then here's 1 hour. And that's going to be 1:45. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. The third one, that's another hour. So 12:45. Right. So that's 3 hours. I need 1 more hour, so I need to subtract 1 more hour. You can put subtract here to help you as well if you want to. So that's another hour. And so I know my minute's going to be 45 because I've already written them and then subtracting hours. Remember, that's our learning intention. So 12 subtract 1 is 11. So this person arrived at 11:45. Okay, I hope you understand that. Sorry about my writing, but basically you just jump back an hour each time. I think that's quite straightforward. Okay, and remember you can use one of these if you've got one at home, or if you feel more confident, then use the number line like I've been doing. So let's have a look at your activity for the day. So here we go. You've got all these people here, Elliot, Emma, Amira and Hannah, have completed their homework at the same time, 2:48. What time did each of them start doing it? Fill in the blanks with the correct time. Okay, so don't forget to do this. You can use a number line, you could use a clock, you could use a different method if you want to, as long as you write it down and explain the method you've used. Don't just say I worked out in my head, because that doesn't really prove anything. But there is another way, as I said before, like finding the difference. So there we go. What you need to do is you need to work out when these children started doing their homework and write the start times in there. Okay? Sounds quite straightforward. If you get through that quite quickly, there is a challenge. I quite like this challenge because it might involve the Year 3 teachers. So there we go. Mr. Bayford woke up at 6:15. He had 8.5 hours sleep. What time did he go to sleep at? Mrs. Durham, that's me, woke up at 6:45, had 8 hours sleep. What time did she go to sleep at? And if Miss Cosler woke up at 8:15 and slept for 10 hours and 15 minutes, that is a very long time. What time did she go to bed? And then here we go. You need to work out who went to sleep first. Okay, now I'm not going to give you any answers to these questions or the previous ones for today on here. They will be on your home learning plan. So if you want to check the answers, look on the home learning plan and see who went to bed first out of myself, Miss Cosler, and Mr. Bayford. Okay, I'll give you a clue. It's not who you'd expect. All right. Okay, I hope you do okay, and I'll see you soon. Have fun trying to do all your maths, and I'll see you tomorrow.